Sean Koronowski here, and we're moving today because we have work to do and lots of planning to do. What word are you using? We're getting feedback.
Yeah,
I think it's both of our audio are on the same room.
Dr. Gold, we have to go. Please stand by. That was an Alan came in.
Well, just drop me out, but I'm going to try to come in.
All right. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, you're getting to admire our technical difficulties here because we are pushing the limits, the absolute limits of what is possible with today's internet technology.
Yes, that's right. And advancing in technology is kind of like Frodo trying to bring the ring into Mordor. But we slowly but surely get there.
Well, what a mess that scene was.
Yeah,
okay, Alan's back. Just get him on stage here, and who knows what's going to happen.
That's better.
Yeah, but he muted himself though.
Right, I muted myself. Are you picking up any audio off Court's mic with me?
I can hear you, but you just sound like you're on the other side of the room.
All right,
okay. Speak louder.
Next to him.
Yeah. So
I'll unmute if I have anything important to say.
Okay. Well, so where do we want to start with what's important to talk about? So you've got two things going on here, okay? So you want to talk, we'll start in talking about that, but the stuff that's going on in Virginia is important. It's part of a whole mindset. It's the same thing that's infecting Connecticut. So we'll get to this. But okay. we'll start with the debate.
Let's start with the debate because my time is limited, unfortunately.
Okay.
Okay. So this debate thing, as we know, was hatched about a week ago with Selena and I and Betsy McCoy, one of the three candidates. We got her on board right away. She was part of the idea in the beginning, and then we were able to get some momentum, get a sponsor from the Connecticut Republican Assembly, which is a fairly prestigious organization. They're a nationwide organization.
Right.
The Connecticut Public Assembly is the Connecticut chapter. Mark Minich is the name of the chairman. He and I have met before. He's a good dude, and they agreed to sponsor it. We then had we were able to organize through the Ryan Fazio campaign. Got them on board through Pam Salomon, who's one of his campaign managers, if not his only campaign manager. And she and I had an interesting conversation on the phone last year when I ran against Ben Proto.
Right. Yes.
Quite tough on me, but we made up and we corresponded, and we now have a date. May the 8th.
Right.
At 7 p.m.
At the Pine Loft.
At the Pine Loft, right? And the venue the Pine Loft was eager to and agreed to host this event. But then what happened was the momentum for the event, and then people who want to attend became this thing has really kind of exploded, and there's a lot of people behind it, and certainly who want to be there. So for a while there, we're looking for a bigger venue, but we decided that to stick with the Pine Loft because it's a decent size and it's a good setup, and we want to be loyal to the guy, and it's good for televising, and it is good for televising an online presence, which you expect a massive one.
Right. Well,
nationwide too, by the way. This is a story. There are two stories happening in Connecticut right now that if I was Fox News or Newsmax or one of these national syndicates, I would pick up on. One of them is this. Our 5th congressional district has a guy named John DeBarros who's breaking all the rules and getting rich, poor, black, white, everybody on his side, but yet somehow may still not be on the ballot. That's the big story. The second big story is the fact that Connecticut has a crazy system where nobody debates before primaries, which is like ass backwards. And then we have a movement here in Connecticut, a grassroots movement that's about to break the back of that ridiculous notion. And we've got the candidates to agree to come to an actual physical debate at the Pine Loft on May 8th. Now, Aaron Stewart is the 3rd major candidate who has not yet agreed to arrive to participate. However, I think she will.
Oh, believe me, when she sees the alternative, I think it'll be clear she's got to come.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pressure on her to come from all angles. There are a few people trying to defend her, but here's the bottom line in a nutshell. people want to hear more than speeches and platitudes and TV commercials. Okay, they don't want to be talked at in this day. They might have been fine in the 80s and 90s, but these days, with the invention of social media and podcasting and whatnot, and Joe Rogan for that matter, these platitudes no longer work. We want to hear her answer questions. We want to hear dialogue. We want to talk with her, not at her. So that's really that's no one's going to get elected around here with that notion. At least not unless she's got the election rigged. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we have the place and everything's set. There are flyers that are going to get made. They're going to go out very soon, probably by tomorrow, to everyone. Unfortunately, it's invite only in terms of the actual facility, but look for a massive, massive online presence. And it's cool because it all started with Selena and I and Betsy McCoy on a podcast last Thursday. So,
okay.
Now, for that matter, we urge people to go online and spread the word, spread the flyer. When you get the flyer, share it to your friends wherever they're at, and then of course, you should message Erin Stewart. A lot of her posts that she does on Facebook, at least, come with a clause that allow for no comments. Isn't that cool?
Okay, so
Cool.
all right. So can I share with you how the Lincoln Douglas debate was organized?
Yes, you can share that with us. Let's do it.
Okay, so 60 minutes for the first candidate's opening statement, 90 minutes for the second candidate's response, and 30 minutes for the first candidate's rebuttal. Yeah, it's like, what happened to us? That's right.
Wow.
All right, so maybe we have to make it a little bit shorter, but the pattern is clear. Pattern is very clear, right? He makes a statement. The opponent, but we got three-way here. So how we work with this with a three-way is a little more tricky.
No, I say you literally cross or roll dice, whatever some way to randomize the order people go in, and from there, everybody gets say a 15-minute opening statement,
Okay.
and then we do the questions. And I would say questions, maybe 10 minutes to respond,
Okay.
and then 5 minutes
For a rebuttal.
rebuttal.
Okay.
I would say that's great, except the opening statement should be shorter. Just give them 5 minutes. Okay. We don't need to. We've heard enough of their speeches.
Well, we don't know who's going to be. This is going to be national. What are you talking about?
I know. And if it's going to be national, Court, we got to do the trivia questions, my man.
Yes, that's right.
The fourth format that's never been done that I know of in any debate ever. We're going to break new ground. We're going to ask each candidate 3 trivia questions about Connecticut that will be at a level that are not too easy, but not too hard either. We don't want to humiliate them with hard questions. We're going to ask, I can come up with some of them, questions that we would expect the average person in Connecticut to know, and especially if you're running for governor.
All right. We still have to kind of work on that. Do you have any ideas for ordinary questions? I mean, I'm thinking about do you know the history of Connecticut?
History, geography.
Basic questions about how the legislature works.
They could be civics questions. Yeah, I could come up with about a dozen of them and let people pick the ones that I think are best. And then I don't think we should tell them. We should. The rumor can go out about it, but we should just bring it on them. Here it is, just for fun. We'll tell them it's for fun, and they'll get a little kick out of it at the end. And we don't want to make too much of a publicity thing about it beforehand, because then it's going to become a thing. Oh, is this a legitimate debate? Or what are we going to do to prepare for this?
Well, what are you calling a legitimate debate?
Of course, it's seriously. A legitimate debate.
I mean, they're there. That's legitimacy number one. We have some clearly defined rules. That's legitimacy number 2.
Right.
Okay.
So there you go.
It
was when
if we had the proper mechanism, we could do the trivia with a button. So we could say, give them all the same question and let them punch in a button, electronic button, A, B, or
that sounds like a contest question to me. Some will get it right. Some will get
they're
it wrong.
debating. It's a competition between the 3 of them, right? Then we can come up with just 5 questions only for all 3 of them. Whoever gets the most right wins.
Yeah, there you go. Hell of a way to win.
you should definitely be held accountable to the voters before conventions. So I'm glad this is happening. I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And expect it to go very well.
You know an app we could use for that?
Yes. What's that?
It's called Kahoot.
Kahoot.
I've used it in training classes.
Oh, did you tell me about this before?
I think so.
All right. Have you ever heard of Kahoot, Jason?
I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it though.
Yeah, it's an app.
Basically, you put a. I don't know if you could put a open-ended question, but I know you can put a multiple choice up there.
Hey, that would be fine in my mind.
That's a great idea.
Multiple choice. It wouldn't take them too long. Okay.
I think that there's also in the works to have this debate, if everything happens like it's expected to be broadcast nationwide on the voter app. So anyone who has the voter app can watch it live, and also it'll be on all over 150 websites around the country.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be one of the,
I'm going to say it, Jason.
What's that?
I'm going to say it, Jason.
What's that word you used earlier? How does it feel to be a what?
A what? Impresario?
Yeah, impresario. That's the word.
Yeah. But I'm going to say it, Jason. Proto, choke on this.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second spring in a row that I pulled off a stunt on the Berlin Turnpike to screw Ben.
The second time?
Well, last year I ran against him for chair, and even though I didn't win, I caused him a lot of headaches.
Yeah, well,
then we exposed it. You ever notice? I bet you if we did an internet chatter analysis, ever since I ran against him, from before I ran against him, and since I ran against him, the complaints against the chatter against him has gone way up.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, you know this? Wow. Oh my goodness.
I don't know who they are because it's anonymous, but I've seen people on social media asking how to remove him.
Yes.
Like from the office currently.
Right. And was this related to when Jason challenged him?
I think it has to be. At least
because before the complaint was
the fact that he presides over losing races.
Most people used to say that it wasn't Ben's fault, it's just the system, and now it's like that balance of criticism has teetered.
Mm-hmm. Oh, more is. I'm confident in saying more is coming.
More is coming.
But here's the thing. Oh God. There's this. Sorry.
More is coming.
More. I said more is coming.
More pressure.
In the sense, more pressure on Ben Proto. More people who speak out against him. Yes.
Pressure on Proto.
Yes. There you go.
Ben Proto, who is the asshole in Hartford.
Well, he's the top asshole. Okay, he's the number one asshole in the Connecticut GOP.
Yeah, I'm seeing more and more posts on social media that directly say what I'm saying, essentially, that he's a traitor to the cause. He's there.
Yeah, well, let's this gets kind of tiresome because we're repeating ourselves about him.
The only thing I'll say there is that I don't necessarily like the use of the word traitor, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because there are at least two causes, and he does seem to be against both of them.
Yes.
And they are causes that are intertwined but are not exactly the same.
Okay.
So, in a very general sense, you've got the Republican cause. Let's get more Republicans elected. And with that, we see the races that are just simply unfilled. We see, races that get no funding, where candidates are not supported, or we see things like what's going on with DeBarros, or to a certain extent Betsy. So,
well, traitor probably, traitor's not the right word. You're right. It's mole. That's the word.
But then the other cause is he's, I believe, at least 95% a never Trumper.
Right.
Now he'll go stand next to the Trump kids. He'll get into the Trump box and say, "Look at me, I'm supporting Trump," and then they'll turn around to a candidate and say, "Make sure you never mention Trump. We're not running Trump."
Okay. So on that part, you're just saying he's just being flat out two-faced.
Yes. But I'm not sure, because Trump is in many ways his own thing. That he's a non-Republican,
Right.
and I don't think you can necessarily say that going against Trump and going against the Republican interests are always the same thing. They are most of the time the same thing. But I think there's two different causes, and I'm not sure that he's a traitor. I think he may just be a run-of-the-mill enemy to at least one of those causes.
Well,
He's a left winger.
okay,
Guys,
but
as a Republican, he's a spy. He's there specifically to thwart our efforts, and I know that.
or to put it another way, to us, it's obvious that he's performing sabotage on the GOP.
He is.
So he can perform sabotage and still not be a traitor?
Well, he's not really a traitor because he's never really been part of us to begin with. A traitor I see as someone who's supposed to be part of us and be traitor. He's more of a spy and a mole that's basically been sent in from the other side from the beginning.
All right.
So
Okay.
it's just as bad, but the word traitor probably isn't quite the right word. Like Benedict Arnold was a traitor, but a spy, a Chinese spy who comes here isn't really a traitor; they're a spy.
Okay. Well,
He's a Democrat. You see pictures with him with Lamont, with Obama, and he's one of them. Go look up what he did in the Virgin Islands. This Thursday, by the way, we're gonna have a special guest on our show with Selena this Thursday, a guy from the Virgin Islands named Todd Hecht, and he's gonna tell us all about what Ben Proto did at the Virgin Islands.
Oh, how bad is that?
He went in there and they had a good elected council of the Virgin Islands based on the people that live there, which is mostly African Americans or dark, Latino people that there. And they had a really good representation, and Ben Proto came down with his bullies from a bunch of people from different states, from the Carolinas, from Minnesota, from Connecticut, and started just taking over and bullying, and ended up getting these people elected into the put into the council by rigging it. And they got all these basically whiteys from the white left-wing liberals in there into their council, and basically the Virgin Islands left in a hard way. Todd will tell us all about it in detail on Thursday.
Okay. No, good sort of intro to the subject. We'll just have to let other people know that this big expose will be coming out next time or whenever he's available.
And then we talked about the Virgin Islands. That could segue us into Virginia. Tell us about Virginia.
Okay. Well, all we know about Virginia right now is that there's this last-minute push by the Republicans to get out the vote, to vote no on this should I call it a referendum? Is that what it is? Yeah, it's a referendum in Virginia.
Tomorrow there will be a referendum.
This extreme gerrymandering thing?
The way they gerrymander. So in Virginia, there was an effort a few years ago, I don't know exactly when, to have a bipartisan commission that would decide on the voting districts. This was supposed to keep it from being partisan. And they went with it for years. I believe it was championed by the Democrats at the time. Well, now they realize that doesn't give them enough of an iron-fisted rule. So they want to change the law in Virginia to eliminate that commission. Now, interestingly, they've said that once they change the districts, they're willing to put that commission back.
Oh, yeah. What other lies are they going to tell?
Well, the point is the damage will already be done. Now,
Bless you. Our politics
is a 5-6 split, 5 Republicans, 6 Democrats. And watching Nick Midas this afternoon, he said that's roughly the same split in how the populace votes in federal elections.
Well,
under the proposed Democrat districts, it will be a 10 Democrat to 1 Republican split.
Is that purely a product of new gerrymandering?
Yes. They will be redrawing the districts by where they know the Democrat votes are.
Okay, but I still find that astonishing. Why should I be astonished? What should we say about Connecticut, right? Or any of the New England states? We have no Republican representation. Yet we have the lobster claw. The lobster claw?
look at a map of our congressional districts. There's one that's shaped like a lobster claw.
That would be the 5th
It
district.
might be the 5th, I believe.
Yeah.
it is.
In Stanford, we had one that had what could best be described as a J hook
Okay.
in one of our state districts.
hmm
Well, in New England as a whole, we have over 40% Republican people, but we have zero, not one.
Oh no, we don't have.
of
No,
all the New England states.
no, we have more like
We have one in
25.
New Hampshire, right?
No, we only have 25% Republican in terms of registered voters. And
Right. Well,
we
with
got
the
more than
presidential vote, I
5%.
believe, combining or averaging somehow all 6 New England states, it was a 40% Republican vote.
Yeah,
okay.
it's not. It's way more than 5%. We're not that
Yeah,
bad.
but no, if you look at the registration, now, although we'd love to get an update, Stephanie Thomas. Oh my God, every time I say her name, I get sick. So the problem here is that Republican registrations have been growing in Connecticut,
Yeah.
and we're led to believe they're growing significantly, but we don't know how significantly, and we don't know where they're growing. Be nice if they shared that with us.
I know we're growing in our
Well,
district.
Okay, that's good.
That data's there. We could get it on a local level. It will require contacting 169 different towns.
Well, I would think if we just settle for the big cities, that's probably enough.
We
I don't
could
think
go
you're gonna- I don't
down
think you're gonna
Stanford and
see
try to get
What
some
you
of that.
want in a big city.
Well, I don't know. Look, there's you, there's me. Carol is a very friendly, charming person on the phone. Will, not so much. I'm just kidding. Right.
I
Will's
don't
got
know.
some good ideas. He got some good ideas about voter registration. We had a meeting.
Yeah.
He said, let's make a questionnaire. And we're gonna make a questionnaire in our building of how you're gonna vote, why you vote that way, and we're coming up
Okay.
in our district.
All right. Sounds like the Republican Party needs to steal that idea.
Well, this is our district. I'm gonna tell Joe what we did. Maybe everybody else can do it too.
What I think we should do is find out why non-voting Republicans don't vote.
That's yes.
That's what we're-
That's a
And I
big
think,
project.
yeah.
Yes.
There's real reasons for not voting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just to tell the story, I remember when we were helping. Barry, when Barry was running for mayor, right?
Very,
Right. And
yeah.
I remember we were sitting there
Yeah.
and we had all the lists and it said strong Republicans, weak Republicans.
Yeah.
So you call the strong Republicans and they'd say, yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, it's great. You call the weak Republicans, and don't bother me.
Plant.
That's just why, yes.
I think I know why.
Why?
Yes.
Give us a hint.
So I remember calling. I think I don't know what race it was.
Yeah.
Making calls for a Republican candidate,
hmm
and I saw a name of a guy I knew who's a retired cop, retired a few years ago.
Right.
Saw the consumer guy. I didn't have the list of whether he was strong or weak. Called him up, and I'm making these calls on election day. Hey, I'm looking for John. I want to see if you're coming out to vote. Of course, I'm coming out to vote. I voted at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm an American.
Okay. There you go. That's the right attitude.
Right, but the thing is, he didn't want to be bothered with a phone call
Okay.
because he was doing his civic duty.
All right. There's
He
a
shouldn't have-
connection there.
His attitude was that he shouldn't need to be bothered by it because you should know I'm already voting.
Okay. Well, that statement reflects the shall I say confusion that we have as we're sitting there thinking about making a call, and you're getting all these strong Republicans say, "Don't worry, I'm going to vote." It's like, do we need to keep doing this because they're already telling us they're going to vote? It's the other guys we need to get.
Well, exactly. And here's the thing. I don't know how they get the data that says weak Republican or my personal
Yeah,
favorite,
that's what I want to know.
Republican leaning independent.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
What survey are they doing? Because I've never seen one of these surveys. Are they doing an issue-based survey?
I would take a wild guess, and that's a reasonable one. You have a lot of Republicans who get fed up and they become independents or
Mhm.
unaffiliated. Okay.
But when you get this voter list, it's got these tags next to people,
I know.
and it's just like, how are they basing this tag on?
Yeah.
Is it purely on voter participation?
Right.
If I voted in the last 10 elections, no matter who I voted for, I'm a strong Republican.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a registered Republican, I would assume so.
Well, it could be as simple as if this person only votes in presidential elections, that would be considered a weak Republican.
Right. Now, here's the problem. You look at a movie, the Never Trumpers, where you had Republicans voting for Democrats,
Mm-hmm.
but they showed up. So by that, they're a strong Republican.
You might, oh,
Sure.
God. He does this all the time.
But how many?
You know,
And-
and again,
How
if
many?
it's voter participation, that's not a good standard for strong or weak.
well, what else? I mean, all right. We do not know what other information these people have access to other than
No.
the person's voting record.
Let me say the following. The Republicans I know always complain how many Republicans are not voting.
Okay.
So it is, and they say, if we could get out at least a proportion of the Republicans, we would get election results. So I
All
think
right. Yeah.
the number of Republicans not voting is a group one should look at.
Well, we try to. I think what you're trying to say is they need special attention.
Well, we need to find out why the hell they're not voting.
Yes. Well, I think.
Or even when
If
they
this questionnaire could do that.
All right.
we have to come up
Okay.
with-
Well, all right. So here's the potential kick in the pants. So we would look at weak Republicans and try to find out why they're not voting. Shouldn't we do the same for the weak Democrats and find out why they're not voting too?
Well,
Yeah,
what for?
probably, yes.
What?
What for?
What for?
If we could,
What if it's the same reason?
I would argue that I was going to say the same thing. What if that pool of Democrats, it may be a better pool to go after. They're disenfranchised with their party.
Yeah.
Not left wing party.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Moderate Democrats. There's got to be a lot of them around here. I've been saying that all year.
Keep it to no more than 15 questions,
Yeah. Okay.
maybe 10.
yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys continue on with your thing. I'm going to have to go. Duty calls.
All right.
All right.
Bye
Bye.
bye. All right. See you,
Complex
Jason.
Entertainment. God bless Connecticut. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Here, I just.
So the viewing audience tonight gets an inside look at a strategy session.
Yes.
To me, we come up with a short survey.
Yeah.
Like I said, 10 to 15 questions. The number's not that.
Do you think you could go back to regular because because it was? Oh no, maybe we have the problem. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You send the survey only to the weak Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Only to the Republicans that
You
didn't
don't
vote.
have, it costs a lot of money to send out a few hundred surveys.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Our way is not gonna cost us any $300. We're
Wait.
gonna make our own piece of paper and
Right.
hand it around, and I'm not gonna send it in the mail.
You're not going to send it in the mail.
We're doing a questionnaire in our complex,
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
and
All
we
right.
get
So
a
that's
pretty good reason for what's going on.
all right. No, that's
Right.
worthwhile. I can only agree. All right. That's
I'm
step
not
one.
getting any $300.
No, I think actually that would work. If you identify people that are Republicans who live in those two buildings
That's what I think.
who didn't vote in the last presidential election,
Mhm.
that'll give you a small number. It may not give you a good statistical sample, but it will let you know whether the project is valid and whether the project should be expanded.
That's good. Thank you. That's right. Hopefully we got what we were hoping.
All right. So you're going to knock on the doors?
We can.
Mhm.
We're gonna first start with getting the list from the
What
All right.
is
city
your,
hall.
Yeah.
what is your feeling on the reaction that stuff in Iran is doing to Trump?
What it's doing to him? Well, which stuff would you like to focus on first?
Well, I would like to know about America first.
Yeah.
I would like to know if people understand anything about what we're doing with Iran
Yeah.
and any other issues that we come up with.
Can I volunteer I'd like to volunteer as the most ignorant Republican in the Republican Party and America and give you my opinion.
Oh,
Me, I'm the most ignorant Republican around.
I doubt it.
Okay,
I
Just-
think you're probably one of the most educated ones.
just trying to help out, just trying to help my country. So let's start with the first part, which was the Iranian tanker that got hit in the engine room by the U.S. Navy.
That was it.
You didn't hear this?
No.
Oh, okay. I think it was Saturday when it happened. And yeah, so the U.S.
We're all
Navy,
busy Saturday.
they gave this Iranian tanker, I think it was coming in. It wasn't leaving, it was coming in. And they were warning them they couldn't pass. Here's the funny part, ladies and gentlemen. Why was America picking on that particular tanker? Because other tankers were getting through, but they decided to pick on that one. Well, there was a reason.
So
So,
that one had the fuel for the spaceships.
sorry.
That one had the fuel for the spaceships.
Oh, for spaceships?
Yes, it's always aliens.
Okay. You're not talking about that stuff they call perchlorate.
No.
No. Okay. All right. So, point is, yeah. So we seized the ship, checked out what was on board, and I don't know. We released the ship to somewhere. I don't remember. But the point is that there is the indication that the Chinese had included in that tanker a number of items that could be described as dual use, meaning for civilian or military purposes. And that would have been a no-no. A no-no. All right. So how did America First feel about that? Good job. I'm glad you did it. All right. Well, let's try another thing. How about this silly back and forth about negotiations?
That I don't know.
Okay. So as an ignorant Republican, I would say, well, these guys didn't really behave themselves in Islamabad very much. They just kept making all this noise and getting people upset. Now, why would we want to keep on negotiating with people who have shown no change in their behavior whatsoever? I don't understand. So I'm not a happy American First kind of guy, if that's going on. All right.
I think the court's kind of hit on one of the most interesting questions.
Yes.
Lately in politics, we like short slogans.
Uh-huh.
If you remember when Donald Trump first said "Make America Great Again," what did
Yep.
the media do with that?
Made a hash out.
They shortened it to MAGA,
Right.
and then MAGA became its own word.
Yeah, dirty
And people
word.
talk about MAGA. MAGA. Are you MAGA? I'm MAGA. Are you MAGA?
Yeah, right.
No one even knows what MAGA means
No one does.
because it became its own word.
Mm.
Now, in the English language, you can't define something by using itself. You can't define a word using that same word in the definition.
Okay.
Well, what does America First mean? And if you ask most people, they'll go, well, it means America First. That's not a definition. That's literally something. So you have to say, what is America First? And when I first heard the slogan, America First, I was thinking the United States territory,
Mhm.
maybe even the continental United States. I'm sorry, Alaska and Hawaii, but I've
Right.
never been to either of those states.
All right.
When I think of America, very often I grew up seeing that picture of the map of the 48 contiguous states.
Right. Yes.
That's what we think of as America First. And
Okay.
especially when we talk about the border crisis,
Yes.
we think about the border. But even when we say the border, we're really saying the Mexican border. We
Okay.
don't pay a whole lot of attention to the Canadian border,
Yeah.
despite the 4 or 5 British men, all of whom were named after a certain moon god prophet. But they were British. Mustafa from Liverpool and
Jeez.
Ali
Wait.
Baba from Manchester. They're
Okay.
British men.
Oh, British, really?
And they illegally crossed in from Canada and were stopped by a bunch of workers harvesting maple syrup. It doesn't get any more American than that.
No, it doesn't. That's weird. All right.
They've been talking
Well,
about
I-
maple syrup.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Does America extend to American interests?
I think.
I think what-
Right. And the main justification
Yeah.
for military action of any variety in Iran is American interest,
Yes.
protecting American interest.
Right.
Well,
Now,
let me just.
here's the
All
problem
right.
with that.
I'm going to throw a monkey wrench into this, but go ahead.
And we can argue till the cows come home, because it was a joint operation with Israel. We can argue who was in charge.
Yes.
I'm not sure that was so long.
Mm-hmm.
If another country who's an ally to us, if France came to us and said, "Look, we got to go after,
Mm-hmm.
we need your help," they provide some information that says, "Hey, Spain's been doing this anti-American stuff.
Yes.
Come on, jump on board with us." Okay. And they said, "By the way, this French general, he's going to be the commander."
Uh-huh.
Does it make it any less America first? I don't think it does.
Yeah. All right. I mean, yeah.
Allies,
Yes.
Right.
Always allies.
right,
Yes.
we won a couple of wars, very big ones, by being part of Allied forces.
Correct.
So I'm not sure that Israel is a deal breaker.
Says who? Who said Israel is a deal breaker?
Well, there's a lot of people. I mean, you've got people within last week. You've got a lot of people that last week would have been considered right wing, and all of a sudden now it's like, "Oh, did you see Trump's taking orders from Netanyahu?"
I did see
That crap again.
Again, if it's furthering American interests, I don't think it really matters.
Well, again, people are too eager to take what would be an alliance and turn it into Trump being a puppet.
Right.
You know,
Well, because we've done the Democrats, Russia, Russia, Russia.
uh,
I mean, I'm not sure Russia, who's anti-Israel, I'm not sure how Trump can be a Putin puppet and a Netanyahu puppet at the same time. You take two people that are moving in different directions and give each one of them a set of strings for the marionette.
okay.
That marionette ain't anything a pretty show for you.
Yeah. So, So I guess what I wanted to throw in is just the following observation, which I think calls into question the way you portrayed the concept of American interest in Iran, Alan. Hold on, you're going to order? Yeah. Hold on. We got time. Okay. So you started by saying that, there should be clear American interests in Iran.
Or getting rid of their current leadership.
Yes.
I firmly believe that their current leadership was against American interests starting in, I don't know, about 1979.
Okay. Well, 2 points. I believe that current leadership is still in place.
Yep.
And how many tankers are abandoning the Persian Gulf and heading for America?
A significant amount.
It's over 130 tankers that have declined to buy oil from the Gulf states, and they're coming to America. Okay. And who's still in charge in Iran? Yes. What?
Ayatollah.
Yeah, well, if he's, we don't even know if he's alive, but that is the Vahidi. I think everybody's pointing this guy Vahidi as the hardliner who is, claiming to be in charge, and then this one Aragachi, who's the appeaser in the IRGC, and there's a fight between the two of them that seems to be going on.
There is this Bosnian idea that they're all working with England.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could get Wilm on here. There's one thing that we can count on from him. Now, what his It's not without.
Consider the possibility.
Yes,
It is,
well,
it is.
more. That's,
Consider the possibility. Just one of things.
well, you
That's
did.
all you can do.
Well,
anyhow.
wait, you didn't give me a chance to say the other part, which is that his emphasis, dare I say, overemphasis on the role of the British is not without basis. But the problem is I'm trying to find the right way to frame this, okay? Because
Look,
yes,
they've been in the business of subverting anything that was against them since
since whenever.
2000,
Okay,
and they're still at it.
okay, all right. So that being said, well, let me just set it up this way. Now we learn. I don't know if it's true, but this is the claim. If you look at the per capita income of the Brits, do you know that they are poorer than the poorest state in America?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yes.
I can believe it.
So how do you have a country?
How much is the city of London income?
Yeah. All right. Well, then they're sucking it all up and they're depriving everybody else.
You know
Then
what?
Yeah,
I want,
that's what it comes down to. And that's a heck of a claim.
a
So I'm not saying that it's not possible.
why the hell did
that is
Boris
onion.
Johnson go
That-
to
I'm cold. I'm gonna have that.
Ukraine and get the thing started?
Yes.
It wasn't Biden. He followed.
Sure. Well,
It was Boris Johnson who came first.
all right. So what are we supposed to think about this? If you have Keir Starmer getting into more and more trouble, all right, you have the parliament being more and more oppressive against its own people, all right, you have more and more Brits getting angry, making, the chance that Lafarge will be the next prime
There's the
minister.
last feudal empire in Europe.
Oh, in case you missed that, ladies and gentlemen, he just said that England is the last feudal empire in Europe.
Yeah.
How about the world?
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
so
I think
I think
That-
we've got a couple of factors that
whoa,
we have to
that's a
consider here.
hell of a statement.
Not entirely wrong statement either.
Okay, so define feudal again for me. Feudal means, all right, so you have the lord
A king.
or king, and then the subjects. So you're equating the subjects to being basically vassals.
Yeah. But if you get an English passport,
Yes,
it's never made to a citizen. It's made to a subject.
yes,
Well, here's a question for you.
understand that.
How
Yes,
many British citizens are there?
are you testing me to see if I'm listening? Jeez, I'm gonna.
Anyone want to answer that? How many British
All right,
citizens are there?
I'm sticking with A. That would be 0.
You're right. 0.
Okay.
They're only British subjects.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Now, I think there's a couple one.
Yes.
Remember the old saying, the sun never sets on the British Empire.
Right.
I think there is at least a fairly good-sized faction in the UK that wants that to still be true and always be true.
Of course.
But it.
Yep.
How can that be?
Well, they have relinquished the Falkland Islands, so
Yeah, then-
Well, there's talk though, right? The Falkland Islands may
You're right.
be handed over to control. And
Are
so
they going to deliver us to Argentina?
them getting control of the Middle East, where they had extensive colonies at
Sure.
one point,
uh,
would help that goal. Now, here's where I think
I'm not getting
And it's-
control of
well,
space.
okay.
comical.
So, all right. The problem is, right. Let me try this. The word empire is really a political word. Okay. I could talk about a financial empire. So, by definition, the concept of empire is limited to finance. So, a financial empire may have a lot of influence on politics, but the financial empire doesn't equate to a political empire. So far, so good.
right. But it could also be that we started using an imperfect term in finance.
Yes.
What it meant politically.
What, empire, is that imperfect word? What are you
It
doing?
may be.
No,
I want to quote Sachs on that subject.
Who do you-
don't like him. I don't like him either.
you're talking about Jeffrey Sachs?
He hates Trump for one.
Sure.
Were the Astors a political empire or a financial empire? Or the Vanderbilts?
They're a family empire. Okay. I mean,
But yet,
you know,
one into
'cause-
that group.
okay, but so if you take a term like financial empire, it's going to encompass a lot of different groups that, what should I say, have shared values, have interconnected financial interests,
Here's
and they would
what
form that empire.
Jeffrey Sachs said. The British still believe that they rule the world.
Okay. The key word would be believe.
Believe.
All right. So Will just said, Jeffrey Sachs said that the British believe they still rule the world. And you know what? The antics by Keir Starmer a week or so ago when he went to the Middle East, I think would support what you're saying.
You mean, yes, Thomas?
Yeah, Keir Starmer showing like, yeah, we're the ones that stopped the war. We're the ones that won. We're the, you know, he was strutting around like he was the one.
Who is it?
Keir Starmer,
The British Prime Minister.
right? So
The
if,
current Prime Minister. They can be raised. That's it.
yeah, so yes, and it's just silly. It is what okay, all right, and I think this ignorant Republican American, being one, could see that this was ridiculous what he was doing, and others saw it too. Yet there he was strutting around, and there he was getting photo ops with all the different guys, MBS and others. So Alan's busy now.
No. I'm going to say the other thing, though, which makes it very, I'm going to say comical,
Yes.
but in a sad, dark comedy way.
Yeah.
So you've got Keir Starmer going over and trying to claim he's the guy who won everything.
Yeah.
He's still in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that meme that goes around of the little dog sitting in the room that's on fire going, everything's fine.
Okay.
Then you have their current monarch who was demanding, although that was rebuked, that he would not take the title Defender of the Faith. He wanted Defender of the Faiths.
But then how did that get resolved?
Basically, the Archbishop of Canterbury
Yeah.
said, no,
No.
this is the way the ceremony reads. This is the ceremony we're doing.
All right. So he had to repeat Defender of the Faith, singular. Okay.
It
Now,
couldn't be
Which is just as well.
The whole issue with the Easter message versus the Ramadan message.
Yes. Oh, God.
And there's pictures of both Charles and William in mosques. And I've seen some people making the, I will say, tongue-in-cheek remark about the British Caliphate.
Yes.
So the question is the UK an empire, or are they the subject?
Okay. Well, first of all, there is, if I may say it, okay, the intended use of the word caliphate clearly refers to a place that's sort of a capital of the Muslim world. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So there is no place from which the caliphate can derive his authority or status. All right. You got 6% here, 7% there, 10% there. Okay. And they still don't agree with each other. So I'm not sure how the word caliphate works in a case like this.
It only has to
Again,
do with
using an imperfect
the
word.
Muslim.
What?
It only has to do with the Muslim.
Well, the word caliphate. Okay, again, the Muslims are really good for coming up with all these words of ultimate leadership: potentate, caliphate, grand vizier. I can't think of. There are a bunch of them, but yeah.
I've just been talking to people in the past 2 days
Yes.
about Michigan.
Oh
And
God, yes,
my
Michigan.
friend, one of my friends has family living there, and I do too. And she checked it out, and everybody anywhere near Deerfield,
Dearborn.
Dearborn, yeah, and
You're born
anywhere
to stand,
near,
yes.
Yes.
within half an hour of Ann Arbor is leaving.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
Leaving Michigan.
Why?
Because I hate what's happening, that so much of the Sharia law is being put out.
All right. Well, they're going to have to. I'm
And
sorry.
it's scary as anything.
You're going to have. Somebody's going to have to fight back. This is
Yeah.
really pathetic. I mean, if they're not going
I'm
to,
gonna pick at it, but I may just take it home.
they're not going to stand their
That was
ground. That's
What
really
was that?
annoying.
What'd you get?
Somehow I knocked out.
Yes. So Alan is now enjoying dinner, but he will be kibitzing nonetheless. So anyway, all right. So we were talking about where do we go with this? We started out with America's interest in Iran, and then you just started to lay in on Britain. How they still think they rule the world, and we just went to the moon, to the moon. So what do we do with that? All right. So here's the problem for me. It's the same issue I'm still having, Willem, when you bring this up. Yes, you can believe whatever you want about yourself. You can believe whatever you want about your nation. But if it has no connection with reality
With the world.
or with the world, so what? Okay.
Let me say let me consider the following. How long ago, Biden followed Boris Johnson
Yes.
in supporting the Ukraine war.
Yes.
Now, that whole thing is about taking Russia
All right. Sure.
and wanting to destroy Russia. or
Okay.
weaken
Yes.
Russia.
And by the way, Britain is not the only one. Okay.
Who else?
That would be America.
Americans don't want to destroy Russia.
I would beg to differ.
Well,
I
Beg
think
to
a lot of
differ.
people do.
Yeah.
I would tend to agree with William only because if we wanted to destroy them, why would we sell them all that uranium?
Sell them all that uranium. Well, it becomes an interesting question here. Do you engage in trade with a weak nation or a strong nation? Or if the nation is strong, is it better to engage in trade with it if you enable it to become weak?
Well, Europe made itself weak by declining cheap Russian gas.
More
Essentially, the Germans on their own implemented the Morgenthau plan on themselves.
yes, understood. But so wait, what did you call that? The Morgenthau?
Yeah.
The Morgenthau plan. You're talking about going to green energy.
Essentially, Morgenthau wanted to turn Germany into an agricultural country.
Right, or colony.
That was the
Right.
proposal
Okay.
at the end of World War II.
Interesting. Okay. Well, it took a while, but it looks like some of them got around to the idea. And guess what? It didn't work out very well. It turned out to be a lousy idea.
Well, what they actually did is because they needed Germany for fighting Russia,
Uh-huh.
they allowed
Right.
Germany to industrialize.
Right.
And now the Germans decided to go green like
Right.
crazy and essentially implement the Morgenthau plan.
Okay. But they've since, just in the last year, I would say they've realized they made a big mistake.
Yeah, but it happened in about 1990 that
Yeah.
they started going on that
Okay.
crazy course.
All right. Let me muddy the waters here a little bit.
And now
Okay.
they
So,
didn't finally match
They-
that the exact opposite of what the other, because he promised
Okay.
the exact opposite of what he's doing.
okay. In the meantime, so here's the situation. Even if they're changing course and they're going back to what we'll call carbon-based energy sources to power their economy, you still have an installed base of solar and wind. Now, some of the wind things are probably going to get torn down soon, if not already. But the solar stuff is probably going to stick around for a while. So you can say we've gone back to a carbon-based economy, carbon-based energy economy for Germany, but they still have that other stuff there. It didn't go away.
Now, my guess is it's overly expensive
Yeah.
and intermittent. It
Okay.
works only during the day.
All right.
There's not
All right.
enough.
If they're going to allow themselves to be ruled strictly by economics, I'll agree with you. I just want to make this point. When you look at the history of photovoltaic technology, the way it's progressed is that as the efficiencies of these photovoltaic panels improve,
It's very big.
the economics. So you'd have areas of application. I mean, it's silly stuff. You have these beacons that are on the highway, and they don't have any way to power them, so they use a solar panel. You see it when you drive by them every so often. Okay, that was cheaper than having to run a power line out to that beacon. Okay, so at that point, that makes sense. Now you have something that's cheaper, even cheaper solar. Now you can set up installations in other areas to generate energy that would not have been feasible previously. Okay,
I don't know that solar energy is feasible at the moment.
oh, it is. Well, no,
Let me put it this way.
it is feasible.
You're cold, if you're cold at night, what does solar energy do for you?
It depends
Can
on
you really store the solar energy overnight?
there are ways, but
With what
They were less-
percent efficiency?
Right.
What does it cost?
all right, there's something that people aren't talking about enough. It's the sand tower technology. Have you heard of this?
Don't know anything about it.
Yeah, sand tower. It's supposedly related to how energy was stored back in medieval times. And what they found was if you made a tower of sand and then you heated it, the tower of sand would stay hot for a very long time. And heat would be slowly released from that into the space in question.
How much is the efficiency of that process?
I would have to look at it, but they didn't have any real alternatives back then, so they probably didn't think much. Now,
What is the
well, we've seen the evolution, right? Wood burning, coal burning, oil and gas burning, and with each successive stage, presumably those chosen methods were cheaper.
Well, I think at the present, nuclear energy is one of the cheapest sources of energy, and it gives you energy at night.
Yeah.
Now, if you use natural gas, you're still cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
don't think you'll ever see nuclear power rise to prominence in our country.
Well, what do you call it? Prominence. Trivia question. What percent of electricity is generated by nuclear reactors in America?
I don't know, but I'd say E30.
So a little under 20%.
Okay.
All right. And that's not shabby, as far as, but how much of that is in some fashion subsidized? I don't know.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
From what I know, nuclear energy can be now produced cheap.
Well, the reality is that it's still a function of scale. Okay. People have been all excited about these small modular reactors, SMRs, as the way the future is. They're setting up data centers around the country for AI. Well, it turns out that the unit cost of energy generated by these SMRs is higher than the old-fashioned gigantic nuclear facilities. And it
Okay.
shouldn't be a surprise. Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised. But for example, right now, AI facilities use huge amounts of energy.
Right.
And Trump says they should generate the energy locally, and what's left over, give it to the community.
Yeah. Locally. All right. Well, what we've seen a number of these, what do I want to say? The companies putting together these utilities or data centers have been addressing these concerns about using up local resources and driving up energy costs. So some of these energy centers are being advertised as, what should I say, self-sufficient in terms of energy. All right. And then to your point, though, if they're able to generate more than they need, then yes, you would share that with put it into the grid in the community. So there's been some talk about that. You know, one of the other hot items with these centers is how they use water. So
It takes an awful lot of water.
So you have these companies now that have shown how they can take a fixed quantity of water, constantly process it and recycle it within the facility without having to take any more water from the environment. All right. So, you know, there's some basis here for believing how these things can be used.
Do you know how these reactors compared to, let's say, solar energy or wind energy?
In terms of cost,
Yeah.
yeah. Wind and solar, unfortunately, remain more expensive than these guys. You know, now again, you could probably find some exceptions where I'm thinking, for example, there was an article in the New York Times years ago about this hillside in Italy where there was an area that had high, steady wind, and they were able to put up a bunch of windmills in that area and generate electricity that way. You know, in the early days of in the 70s, when talking about wind energy, you had the concept of wind prospecting.
Mhm.
The notion was that you would go out and find areas where wind tend to funnel in. So, I mean, it's odd, but New York City, those huge skyscrapers are natural wind funnels.
Yep. And
All
you
right.
could put big windmills between them.
Yeah, but they haven't. But they
Because
haven't.
that space is already occupied by roads.
No,
What?
up 10, 20, 30 stories, you could presumably put these
Except
windmills.
the wind is not very persistent, I bet.
But if it's being funneled
I'm not sure
through,
I'm not sure you get the funnel effect the higher you go.
okay, well, I will
And
leave
just
that as a
imagine
possibility.
If you have our Times Square, a huge windmill going,
Yes,
just imagine how that people would feel, because the damn thing can fall apart any minute.
yes, and they do fall apart.
Yep.
That's the other thing people don't talk about is that a number of these gigantic windmills have had to be disassembled, and now you've got a landfill
They were
problem
disassembled
with these
by the wind.
gigantic blades that are hundreds of feet long. Where are you going to put them? And where are you going to put them so you aren't upsetting the neighbors?
That being said, I am not clear why you can't out of recyclable material.
Well, I'm sure some try, but again, it's a strength of materials problem, right? Because especially, right, we have our physics expert right over here, so he's available for analysis and commentary. If you have, I believe this is called moment of force. Is that the term? Moment of force? Right, at least that's the English term for it, or American term. So you got the hub, okay, here's the blade, and you go out 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, and each time I apply 10 pounds of pressure, there's gonna be a greater deflection the further out I go, right? So as you're going out further, there's for the same unit force, there's more stress on the blade. Okay, and so there's going to be, you follow this, right?
I mean, I've seen pictures.
So
I think I've seen huge windmills on this. And then they it's a catastrophe.
yeah, right. So it just, and so you're looking at this, but now we have to remember, if you go back to the planning and design stage, right? They're running the numbers with their spreadsheet calculations, and it's saying, to make it economic, this is what you have to do. And they put it up there, and we discover all these problems. We didn't even talk about all the birds that got killed by these things. So, you know, maybe the planning just wasn't that good. You know, just, you have to, all right. So note to General Electric, since you made those big blades, maybe your smart engineers need to rethink the whole life cycle costing thing, okay, in light of what we're just talking about here. And what are you going to come up with? Will it then suddenly become uneconomic? I don't know.
Well, again, there's an issue, and if you think back, there was probably some of our first recycling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, donate your old pots and pans. We need them to build tanks for the war effort.
Sure.
Now, I don't think, looking back on it, anyone honestly believes we built tanks out of pots and pans. We might have used that for other purposes.
The grade, I should say the grade, is that the right term I'm looking for? The grade of metal that used to make the pots and pans was not the right grade for making tanks.
Probably.
So,
but we might have used it to offset other metal we were sending to the war effort. But
possibly.
It was really the psychological benefit of making everybody think they were doing their part.
Right.
But if you look at that going forward, rise of recycling, the ecology movement of the 60s and 70s, and we're still told that if you collect your soda cans and beer cans, we're going to make the world a better place.
Yes.
Well, in Connecticut, that's as long as you have proper ID and you don't live in New York.
Or they had to throw that in.
But own
environment up to 999 cans a day.
Oh, 199 cans a day.
Yeah.
Up to 999.
Well, we seem to still be going, but I'm not sure. But the clock is still running.
Okay.
Okay, not sure if you can hear me because I lost the main video here, but I do see the clock is still running. So I'm going to go with the idea that I was saying, that we have all of our recycling efforts. We're now finally getting to the realization that not everything can be recycled. I still think some stuff can be recycled. Recycling is probably still in the world pursuit, but it may not be the world-saving thing we all thought it was going to be.
I think a lot of stuff is done.
So, with these windmills, we're being told that when they get disassembled, they're all going to end up in a landfill because there's nothing we can do with them. Can we build windmills either out of recycled products so that we're reusing something, or out of something that can be recycled? And why hasn't anybody really seriously looked into this? Why isn't there anybody saying, hey, I could help the environment and also help the environment? I don't know. Some people will tell you recycling is a scam, and I think the jury's still out on how effective it is. But we have to look at the idea that why are we building these supposed green energy plans out of things that aren't really all that green in themselves?
There you go. Okay. I think we're still good, Alan.
Yeah, I think we are still finished for our, look at the reusable shopping bag, the supermarket store over there. I had one the handles broke on, so it really wasn't very good as a shopping bag anymore. And it had a triangular symbol on it that says it was, recyclable, recyclable material, like I think this bag was made out of old soda bottles or something.
Mhm.
And then I went to the recycling bin. You know what I discovered? Something in the bag made the bag not recyclable. It was marked on it, do not recycle this bag.
What?
So that we're supposed to be helping the environment with cannot be used for any purpose other than harming the environment.
Okay, well, this all assumes that we're harming the environment to begin with.
Well,
All right.
that's what they tell us. And remember, whales and animals shave the whale.
Mhm. What did you say?
I said whales are mammals, mammals have hair, shave the whales.
Shave the whales. All right, we're getting weird, we're getting a little weird, just saying.
About what we can listen to the whales,
Yes,
and we can find out that they use complicated language, that have all kinds of symbols, that they must understand a hell of a lot, and you're trying to figure out how to talk to the whales.
And we're,
And later we'll find out how to talk to those bees.
well, hey, so
And
Will,
find out that they have very interesting ideas.
yes, they do.
And
So
then
do
we
the
take them
dolphins.
as human, we can't use them for food.
I think the problem don't have any idea. If you look at things like hieroglyphics, where they first thought they were pictographs. So a picture of man, picture a snake, man saw a snake. I'm losing my audio capability here.
What was happening?
My headset.
But I
So,
think
Oh,
we
okay.
can
can
translate.
you hear me on the?
Well, not really, no. I could see that the microphone died. Boy, we're having some real technical difficulties here, dear audience. Real technical difficulties.
So,
You're back. You're back.
I'm
Okay,
back.
good. And
but I'm gonna get a lot of feedback.
right. But we
So-
gotta give it a microphone somehow.
I'm gonna say at 1 minute and 12, I'm gonna hand my spot on here. Or I'm sorry, it's 1 hour, 12 minutes we've been online.
Yeah,
This is a long
we set a record.
cast.
I'll say that. Keep it set. I think the audience would agree, wherever they are. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Got that echo. All right. So anyway, I don't know. What happens when you speak loud, Will?
What happens if I speak loud?
Yes, I
speak
could-
loud.
I can see you here. So the only question is whether or not whoever's listening can hear you too.
Can you hear what I say?
In the most beautiful, dulcet tones, yes. There you go. All right, so where were we? We were talking about solar energy or nuclear energy.
Basically, I'm already tired of the subject.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that.
I mean, this Germans, I just am aghast at German stupidity.
Right. Well, there you
And
go.
I think it's because we're indoctrinated by the British.
See, I was gonna blame the Russians.
Well,
Now, hold on a second. Now, that's a new one on me. I have never heard of the British determining the German educational system.
well, I think
Yeah, all right.
Angela Merkel was indoctrinated by somebody,
Yeah.
and it probably was the British. It could have been the Russians, but
I think it was
the
George
British.
Soros, personally.
I think Soros was.
Okay, and while you're on your British kick here, I mean, how do you regard George Soros
Yeah.
if he made all his money on on trading on the British pound against the British pound.
British also stood.
Well, who does that leave?
Where's Merkel from?
Is it us? Are we the smart ones here?
She's from East Germany.
Indoctrinated by the Russians, see?
I think they're beginning to release the Stasi files on Angela, and we'll find out who indoctrinated who. And I think we'll find out that she was a British agent.
Right. I think that might be an interesting article idea. Who indoctrinated who?
Let's find out.
Yeah, all
We'll
these
find
people,
out.
all this brainwashing, all this propaganda. But who indoctrinated
We
who?
should be able to find out in no time
Yeah.
what the Stasi files say about Angela Merkel.
Stasi files. You know, is it fair to think of the Stasi files as a final authority? Or could they just be another source of misinformation?
I think as far as Angela Merkel is concerned, it's a better authority than Angela Merkel.
Okay. Do you have an opinion on this? It's,
Not real.
we're not used
I
to
will say
thinking in
this,
these terms.
We didn't trust the Stasi in
Yeah.
the Cold War. I don't know why we would trust their files now.
But do we know what was in the Stasi files?
No, we don't.
Yes.
But I'm not sure we can trust it no matter what it says.
Yeah. I think we see the problem. Anyway, I think we're going to hour and 16 minutes. I think, guys, we're going to bag this for now. So I might have some notes later, but thanks for listening through all the stuff that we had to go through. Thanks for listening, guys. All right. Later.
By the